Hello, what is happiness? I have been divorced for over almost a half years, very close. Since January 4th of 2023, I've been divorced, and we are in July 9th of 2026. So, yeah, it's been over 3.5 years. Okay, before I say what happiness is, I want to tell you what depression and trying to kill yourself is. I had spent 33 years with a Thailand woman from Galison, Thailand, and I was working on a quantum computer as an engineer for Northrop Grumman in Maryland. And I've been commuting back and forth for over a year just so I could be with my family on Thursday night to Sunday night and drive back to Maryland. I did it for 52 weeks, and I got to know the airline crew at the what is it called, Quantum Inn, Quality Inn, whatever, in Lynchburg, Virginia. Up the road from Baltimore, where McDonnell Douglas had his design facility. I'm sorry, Northrop Grumman. They all run somewhere in my mind. I worked at Intel, Compaq, well, not HP, but worked at a few high tech industries with a master's degree in electrical engineering. I designed computer chips, so they were paying me out the wazoo to come and help them build a quantum computer, and we did a great job. We made great progress on the silicon design flow and how to put quantum devices in silicon, like we do with transistors, but they were not transistors, they were quantum devices. Anyhow, I came home one day in Christmas, for Christmas 2022. I thought we had a good Christmas, and my son says, Dad, you need to talk to your mom about, what's wrong in your relationship. He had been accepted to Harvard, Princeton, Yale, and West Point, and he chose West Point because he's like his dad. He wanted to serve in the military because he loves his country, like I do, and I did. But not anymore, but that's a whole nother story. So anyhow, we had Christmas. My wife's like, whatever, open my presents. I'm like, why don't you sit with me on the sofa? She's like, no, I'm more comfortable. We're here. It's like, what the crap? And we had that. And then she wanted to visit her sister in Georgia. So I bought her an airplane ticket and flew her down there. Well, she had a good time, it was all good. But a few days after that, she stopped answering her phone. I'm like, what the crap? Why aren't you answering your phone? I had no idea there was even any problem whatsoever. I was 58. She was 62. She'd finished menopause, and I don't know. Subsequently, I heard that when a woman goes through menopause, some of them blame the whole world for every goddamn problem they have. So my best guess is that is it. Yes, I like to drink, and sometimes I drink a little bit, but never enough to get into trouble, just enough to fall asleep. But whatever, she didn't like it. Whatever. So anyhow, a few days later, I got divorce papers, and I got that. And I'm ready to kill myself, so I put my Colt 45 in my car. That's the gun I had in the U.S. Navy. I'm ready to blow my brains out because I was crushed, totally crushed. I drank almost a bottle of vodka. Not quite. I didn't kill myself, but I was focused enough to drive. So I drove to the Pennsylvania border, and I turned around, drove back to my home in Ohio. And right when I crossed the city limits, I had like, God damn, 25 squad cars pull me over. It's like, fuck, I didn't even know the city had 25 squad cars. But whatever, I pull over, and after 40 minutes, I tell them I didn't do anything wrong. What did I do wrong? Because I didn't think having a loaded firearm in my car was a problem, because it's mine. It wasn't illegal, it was mine. But anyhow, they finally get me out of the car and arrest me and take me to the hospital. And then a day later, they are guarding the room and took me down to Columbus to go to a psychiatric hospital for a week. So I did that. Got out, drank another bottle of vodka, Wasn't going to kill myself. I don't know what I was doing, but I ended up in a separate counter. They took me to the hospital. They never charged me with an OVI or a crime for drinking, so that was good. But I ended up back in the goddamn same facility as I was the 2 days before. And I'm going to go get lunch, right? You got to march down with lunch without shoestrings, without belts, because they don't want you to kill yourself. So I went down there, and the lunch lady says, "You're back again." And I'm like, "F you. You're making me feel great here. I thought we're supposed to be here to feel good about ourselves, but no." She's like, "You're back here again." I'm like, "Whatever. I get out of here. I'm not coming back." So I spent 3 days. This kind of sets me back a little, but it's okay. Happiness to me now is getting out of the insane asylum, getting my life back on track. I went to see Tiki Tiki in Chiang Rai just to prove to myself that life still had something worth living. And I gotta tell you, Tiki Tiki delivered totally. She picked me up at Chiang Rai Airport, singing and dancing, bringing me to her car, and driving us to the hotel, and laying on the bed. And we just had an awesome time for a few days. So yeah, I flew back to America after just 4 days, and I wanted to live at that point, so cut down on the vodka. And I met another lady, and I'm here at her house right now. We're not married. We've known each other 3.5 years since my divorce, almost after Tiki Tiki. But yeah, so here we are. We're sitting in Isan, Thailand, and we are having the best time of our lives. I've been here 2.5 months on a retirement visa, and life could not be better. It's all about living in the moment. Okay, so here's what happiness is. In a nutshell, I can say a lot more about this in the future, but in a nutshell, happiness is living in the moment. Yesterday was yesterday. Tomorrow has not come yet. 80% of what you think tomorrow will be will never be. But the present, what you are doing right now, that is happiness. Just being alive in Isan, just being alive around all these people in the village here, just being alive around my girlfriend's mom and her sister and her husband and her niece and everybody. You know, just sharing food, like Anthony Bourdain said, just going somewhere and sharing food and drinking as much as you can drink of the local beverage and eating as much as you can eat of the local beverage. That is the magic of life. And Anthony Bourdain definitely figured it out. Unfortunately, he had some kind of a drug problem. I don't exactly know what one, but he took his own life, and that was a masterful life lost because he came from nothing working in a restaurant to inspiring, generations of people to live life and travel. So yeah, that is the meaning of life, living in the present. The VA taught me, Rod, puto puto, and this is what Thailand teaches, also the exact same words. Puto puto. Inhale slowly through the nose. Exhale more rapidly through the mouth. Repeat. Do this a few times in the present. Live in the present, and you'll be calm and you enjoy life much, much, much better. Of course, there's the physical and workout aspects of life, but that is the main thing right there in my mind. And I will make more videos about this if I could at least have a couple likes or a couple, I don't know, messages or something. I don't care about making money on YouTube. I really don't. But I can guarantee you'll never see any AI here or anything of the sort. My background is a generated background. I don't consider that AI, but I just didn't want to show, a lot of the Thailand wall background for whatever reason. I don't know. Anyhow,